All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight to hear some great music from hopefully all of your favorite movies. This week we've had the pleasure of working with a wonderful clinician who is now based in Salina, Kansas, and travels all over the world through his organization, the Music Gorilla, making music in different parts of the world. And we just happen to be lucky enough to be one of those places. So for this next piece, I'm going to bring out Dr. Milt Allen, conducting City of Stars from La La Land. All right. Well, oh, sorry. I said wait a second, and I didn't wait a second. My fault. Sorry, sound guy. Now I forgot what I was supposed to say about this next thing. Oh, so the first piece that you heard was the very first piece that you heard was a duet from two of our seniors, who you'll hear plenty of coming up here soon. We have two orchestras here at Brebeuf. The last two pieces you heard were our Camerata Orchestra, and now we're going to bring out our chamber orchestra. And you may not know this, but there's quite a bit of animosity between these two groups. Not in real life, but in pretend world. They have arguments about whose cellos are shinier or whose violists are taller. And you're like, what's a viola? It doesn't matter. So we thought that maybe tonight would be a good night to settle the score. So we have a representative from each of the orchestras. This is Lexi Parkins from the Chamber Orchestra. And yes, good. And representing the Camerata Orchestra is Daniel Woodcock from the class of 2023. And we're going to solve this debate about who's my favorite with a good old-fashioned duel. Okay, well, hopefully that made you want to say yeehaw. I'm still trying to decide my favorite is. I'll get back to you on that. Okay, at this point in the program, at the end of each year, we give a couple of awards. for students in our bands and orchestras. And since they're all up here, now would be a wonderful time. So first up, we have our National School Orchestra Award. All the students in the orchestra program nominate students and then later vote for the recipient of this award. And I'm going to go get it right now. So the 2022 recipient of the National School Orchestra Award is senior Lexi Parkins. And the other award we give is the Director's Award for Orchestra. And this award recipient is chosen by the Performing Arts faculty here at Brebeuf. So the 2022 recipient of the Director's Award for Orchestra is Liv Weintraut. All right, this group that you see in front of you is going to do one more piece together, which is This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. try to beat the curtain. I get it. Okay. Awesome. Okay, well, moving on. So, if you weren't aware, our percussion ensemble at Brebeuf is quite unique, especially in their creativity and their artistry, things like that. It's kind of become kind of sort of a tradition that we, at the end of the year, make ourselves a mashup of all the things that encompass our personalities. So that's what we've kind of come up with here, and you may or may not get it. If you're a fan of SpongeBob, you'll probably get it. But the best title we could think of for a piece this, what should I say, this deep, this, give me a word, Jack. Good, well, we'll get to that one. I'm just trying to stall to give him a second. But anyway, so the best title we could think of for a piece like this was simply Percussion Vengeance. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we'll go for it.
All right, good evening. I'm Mr. Miller, the assistant band director here, I guess. So first of all, I just wanted you all to give the percussion ensemble one more hand. So they're such an amazing group because we see so many different groups coming up here and playing, and every time you see a percussionist, right, it's that same group. So they wear many hats here in our music department. They're all over the place and learning not music for just their own group, but for each one of these other groups as well. So they put in a lot of hard work. So thank you, percussionists. All right, so here in front of you now is our wind ensemble. We've got a couple of tunes here tonight that we're going to play. Up first is The Hunger Games. We absolutely love this piece. This is going to show their dynamic abilities here. So have fun with this. You've earned it, and you all have done a wonderful job on this. So let's go. This has been such a fun group to work with this year. We've got the opportunity. We just played such an amazing piece where they could show their stylistic abilities, which I can't tell you how much has improved this year. You all should be really, really proud of yourselves. That was awesome. Thank you. But now we get to have a little fun. Now we get to show off the brass here a little bit more as well. Now for a completely different style, it's time for a march. So here is the Captain America March. All right, as they're leaving, one more hand for the wind ensemble. All right, so now it's time to bring on our next group. Oh, yes, there we go. They were just waiting for me. All right, here come the chamber winds. So we've been blessed the last couple of years here to have so many musicians with us in the band portion that this year we were able to split into two groups. And I could tell from the last group, for those of you that have been to every concert, how much they have improved over these this year. Just awesome. Yeah, go ahead, grab your music. Seniors, it's okay. But this group then has it's allowed them to really hone in on some much more difficult music, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised here with what they're able to do tonight. So if we could all give a big round of applause for the famous, well, yes, chamber winds, but then also Mr. Lee. Oh, there he is, there he is. Hey, hey.
Okay, well, earlier you got a chance to meet Dr. Allen. He may or may not have you participate again. You really never know with him, which is one of the great things about having him here is he's very, very unpredictable. So next up we're going to bring out Dr. Allen again to conduct a piece containing a whole bunch of tunes from Pixar movies. Okay, so now we come to the part of the program where we get to give the band awards. We have two of those that we give. The Director's Award for Band, which is chosen by the Performing Arts faculty, just like the Orchestra Award, and then the John Philip Sousa Award, which is where students are nominated by their peers in each of these bands that you've seen tonight, and then the final recipient is voted on by all of the students. So the 2022 recipient of the Director's Award for Band is Senior Joseph Krybczynski. And the recipient of the John Philip Sousa Award is the other senior in this group, William Woodhouse. All right, well, Will has had a particularly eventful day today. We don't have to talk about it, but maybe you could ask him about it later. It's a pretty good story, at least I thought. But we're going to top it off here with Will's debut as a maestro, conducting A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman. Okay. Well, at this point in the concert, I just want to say thank you to a few people. First of all, it's such a pleasure to work at Brebeuf, and a large part of that comes from the administrators, Father Bill, Mr. Van Slambrook, and all the other administrators that really make what we do up here possible and treat us so well. And it's a real blessing to be in a place that truly values the arts. So if we could please give our administration, Father Bill, Mr. Van Slambrook, and all a big round of applause. Thank you. And I also want to thank my colleagues. Again, it's so amazing to be able to work in a place where people are so supportive of what we're trying to do here. All the other teachers, they put up with a lot from me, not the least of which is pulling these students out of class a little bit this week so that they could spend some more time with Dr. Allen. And so they're always a good sport about that, and I really appreciate it. So let's give all the Brebeuf teachers a big round of applause as well. Lastly, I really want to thank all of the parents here. Again, you really make this possible. The support that you give to these students throughout their commitment to making art. It's really remarkable. I know it's not easy, and so I'm so grateful to you for sticking with it and making what these kids have been able to do possible. So if you have a student up here, if you would stand up and we can give you all a big round of applause. So I want to thank one specific parent in particular. When I started here, there wasn't a whole lot in terms of parent organization and the pitching in of parents to make everything work. And there were a few parents who really spearheaded an effort to make that happen, and it's been really wonderful to watch that take place. And there are several parents here who have just put in countless hours. But I do want to bring out, in particular, Jennifer Weintraut for our Parent of the Year award. I think Jennifer is backstage, but hopefully we can find her. I was kind of afraid this was happen because she's always busy doing something here. So Jennifer, if you can hear me, if you could come out here, that would be awesome. Maybe. You know what? We'll bring her out later, okay? Well, I'm going to go find her, and I'll bring her out in a second. Oh, she's coming. Okay, perfect. Hey, there she is. All right, and so next up, you may have noticed some really interesting items out in the front lobby when you first came in. And I mentioned earlier that Dr. Allen travels all over the world, working with different groups, most intensively in Rwanda and Zambia, but he's been all over the place. And so I wanted to give him a chance to come out here and tell you a little bit about that, a little bit about what he does, and share some of his profound wisdom with us all. So he's going to conduct this next piece, which is The Lion King, and before that, he's going to share a few thoughts with us. So let's welcome Dr. Allen.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you don't feel obligated just because most of you have students that are in an ensemble. But you have many things that you could do with your Friday evening, and you chose to come here, so we appreciate that. COVID, did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you would ever wear a mask and walk into a bank? or that everyone would be so excited to be negative. I mean, what's that say about our society? I'm negative. Yeah. Well, one of the things that I've seen as I've been around the country and to other countries is the effect of COVID, in particular on music programs, has been profound. There have not only been many, many music programs that have been cut or sliced and diced or hours pulled back or beginning programs eliminated. There's also been just a huge exit of music teachers who are just unable to cope in trying to deal with the various administrations and the new requirements. And in an art that involves process and collaboration, it's difficult to make that come off. And the fact that what you have here, I was telling Brandon yesterday, I mean, it's almost like COVID didn't happen, at least in the music department. I mean, these students have not only picked up where they were, but they have progressed. I think somebody forgot to tell them that they're supposed to be coming to rehearsals and saying, woe is me, and relearning which end to blow in, or no, turn your bow the other way or something. But what's happening down there is amazing. It's a beehive of activity down there. If you haven't been there, there's always something musical going on, which is great. And the students feel comfortable there, they feel at home there, and it's obvious with the creativity that's happening. It's been really exciting watching this program grow. I was here a few years back, pre-COVID, and the program was smaller. The playing level was not what it is now, and I think there's some surge happening here. There's some momentum happening in this program. It's very, very exciting, so I congratulate Brandon on that, and of course, the most musical science teacher probably in the country, Jason, but also your students, and most of all, you, because the influence that you have, you could very easily say, you're not doing this year, but you're not doing that. You're seeing the value of arts and the value of expression and social and emotional learning. So I won't bore you with all that because I'm preaching to the choir, as it were. Mr. Lee wanted me to talk just a little bit about what I do. I'm a very poor fiscal manager. The last regular paying position I had was as the Associate Director of Bands at Ohio State, which I realize is not a popular phrase to say in Indiana. But I will tell you this, I have never seen so many people get excited about the completion of a vowel. And I think that says a lot about them. Anyway, I had decided to leave the folds of academia and also public school teaching because I discovered that I never knew that music could literally save lives, and I discovered that in Zambia on a fluke trip one time. And I wanted to know why, as collegians, as academic faculty, why didn't we go into the smaller areas of the rougher schools and those kinds of things and work with those students and directors? I understand the need to recruit, and so I chose to leave that position and leave academia and go that direction. So what I do now is travel around the U.S. and abroad, and I work with programs that have, so to speak, doing keynote speaking and clinics and honor bands and orchestras and all that kind of stuff. But then I also spend quite a bit of time in Rwanda, Zambia, Haiti, and some other places, and just about ready to get into humanitarian emergency areas and that type of thing. We'll see how that unfolds in this wacky time that we're in. And it's been interesting. I have quite clearly learned more than I ever thought I would. And I grew up in Kansas, and I never thought that my instrument was going to be a ticket to go to these places and meet these people, let alone make records and meet presidents and be on TV and radio. I mean, do all this stuff. I never thought that that was going to be an opportunity, but it was, and for the very same reason that you're encouraging your students to play. So I do those things, travel around, and I learn a great deal, and it's very exciting. The things that are out in the lobby, by the way, and this is not a hard sell. Whenever I go to another country, I try to bring some things back, because I think sometimes it's neat as talking pieces in houses, or students like to get things. The things that I tend to bring back are from people that I know. So Janvier works at the Kimironko market in Kigali, Rwanda. And the Kimironko market is awesome. It's completely barter. They'll tell you a price, and especially if you're a Eurocentric Westerner, they're going to bid you up, so to speak. Which, an aside, the reason my hair is long is because I used to be nice and clean cut. And I was told after my first trip, you should grow your hair out. And I said, why? And they said, because you're going to be able to barter better. And I said, and just generally get around better. And I said, why is that? And the response was, because people will either think you work for the Peace Corps, UNICEF, or you're from Belgium. And I still don't get that. But I do know that I've been able to barter better and get around better. And Janvier, some of the items that are out there, Janvier works in the Kimironko market, and I've befriended him. He's a great guy. And the things that I brought over are things either he makes that are very common in Rwanda, or he has friends that make those. And so I bring those back over. I don't try to make a bunch of money on those. But the sale of those things and the coffee, what that does is put money back in pockets of people who are trying to make a living over there. And then if there's any money left over, that goes toward the nonprofit to help fund these trips, which when they're overseas trips into distressed areas, that's on the nonprofit's budget. They're not able to pay for that. So feel free if you see something that's anything left. I know that people have been picking things before it even got out there this evening. But the coffee is something I'm fascinated by. If you're a coffee drinker, and I'm not, but if you are, the coffee in Rwanda, women are held in high esteem as the givers of life. But in business, we're still working through some things over there. But the coffee is a collective. And the coffee that's out there, I think there's 4 different kinds here, and I'm sorry I don't know what they taste like or what they go with, but they are made by women-led collectives. And the only place that you can get this coffee is in Rwanda. When this started, it was a small enterprise that created 6 cooperatives. It is so successful that now in Rwanda, you can find this coffee in almost all the coffee shops. You can find them in the major hotels. They even serve it on Rwandan Airways. But the money goes back to these women-led collectives. And in terms of freshness, the dates are on there. When I picked it up, I think 3 weeks ago was when I got back from Rwanda last time. And I think some of that's March 22nd. So this stuff is literally off the mountains, and they do it and do that whole roasting thing. So if you like coffee, there you go. So that's the scoop. I encourage you to buy it. And again, it's not a hard sell. No big deal. The last thing I'll mention is this, is often I get asked, there's so much going on in the States, why are you spending time overseas and trying to help those people? Well, I spend a lot of time in the U.S. But the reason that I go over there is because your students, if they break a string, if they break a reed, if they need a method book, if they want a private lesson, all you got to do is pick up a phone. All you got to do is look online. That doesn't happen over there. A kid breaks a reed, then they're not going to be able to play until somebody brings one from another country. You break a string, you break an instrument, you're out of luck. So that's one of the reasons that I do that, because I think those students and those adults should have the same kind of musical opportunities that we do here. Because one day there may be a student over there who suddenly realizes my instrument is a ticket to do great things. So I thank you very much for supporting your students and for being here this evening. And again, if something that you like out there, grab it. We appreciate it. But thanks so much for having me. It's always a joy to come here. Your students are truly fantastic. Believe me, I go to some places, I can tell you this, I go to some places and it's like blowing the other end. Yes. Thank you for having kids, I think. Here, oh my gosh, Brebeuf is just tremendous. The faculty is tremendous. It's always a joy to come to here. So thank you very much for hosting me. Thank you very much for allowing me to the honor to work with your students. And I think we're going to do one more number here based in Africa. And the last thing I'll say is everybody talks about kids these days. How about these kids these days? Well, this evening, I give you kids these days. Thank you.
All right, well, this is the portion of our program where we recognize our seniors who are playing their last performance here today. These are in no particular order because it's just however they went on the table. So seniors, when I call your name, if you come out here, and then stay out front so we can see you all at the very end, okay? All right. First up is, first up is Liv Weintraub. And next up is Will Woodhouse. In a second, I guess. Okay. Next up is Diana Vasquez. And next up, violist Samrawit Solomon. And the one and only Benjamin Hopper. And Lexi Parkins. Okay. And then next up is going to be senior percussionist Jack Joyce. Let's try one more time. Jack Joyce. Yeah, there he is. Typical Jack, but at least he remembered his music this time, so we're all good. Okay, next up is senior Numair Afzal. And Richa Patel. And we're going to try one more time for Will Woodhouse. Yes. And senior percussionist Aaron Terry. And Joseph Grabzinski. And there's one senior who's not here tonight. As you may know, Andrew Dukanich is quite the athlete, and he's pitching tonight, and all the professional scouts are there watching him and stuff, so we figured we could give him the night off. But Andrew was here when he was a freshman, and then he just came back this last semester. So it's been great to have Andrew Dukanich, even though he's not with us this evening. So let's give one more round of applause for our wonderful seniors. All right, well, we just have to rearrange a couple more things, and then we have 2 more pieces for you all this evening, okay? Okay, well, we have one last piece for you here this evening, which is music from How to Train Your Dragon. But before we play the very last piece, there are a few more people I need to thank. First of all, Mr. Joey Weaver and Josh Dimmick and the rest of the wonderful crew here at Schrott. They are so good to us and so patient with us. They let us use all their stuff. They even let our students touch the gear, like back there, which is like a little bit crazy, but it's so cool to be able to come here and do this. So if we could thank all of the people here at Butler and at Schrott. I also need to thank our assistant director, Jason Miller, who you saw earlier. Jason is amazing. He spends almost all of his time in the science wing, except for just a little part of the school day. But he does so much behind the scenes to make this happen. Just like so many of the other people that we've thanked today, and he really works tirelessly, and I can't thank him enough. So if we could give Mr. Miller a round of applause. And then, lastly, they're going to hate this, but we've had a really special group of seniors who have stepped into an interesting role that we didn't know needed to be filled really before the pandemic. So those of you who watched concerts from home and that sort of thing, or who are able to watch them from out of town and enjoy them, without being here in person. We have this group of kids in particular to thank for that. So if I could bring out Jacob Masalia, Herschel Nathan, Miguel Spalding Price, and Jake Killian, who are all here somewhere, and I know you're here, probably back there. If you all would come out here, please, so we can thank you. There they come. And like the group of students you saw earlier, they're all seniors, and just like all of the seniors here at Brebeuf, they're just really impressive people, and we're gonna miss them terribly. All right, so this is our last piece here, and then seniors, I just want to thank you one more time for everything that you've done. It's been in particular, these past few years have been a really wild ride, and I appreciate you all so much. For sticking with this and for committing to it, regardless of the trying times, regardless of me being in your face about stuff. And I'm so proud of you, and yeah, we're gonna miss you.